Hello, today we'll be going over Domain 1, Section 10 of the RDN Exam Study Guide. We will be discussing vitamins, minerals, herbs, and supplements. Hello, today Vitamin A is required for vision, mucous membranes, healthy skin, and immune system function, and it's also often found in fish oil, liver, carrots, broccoli, and tomatoes. You may know if you have a vitamin A deficiency if there is chronic diarrhea in infants, xerophthalmia, which leads to night blindness, which affects the mucous membrane of the eye. Recommendations for vitamin A is 900 micrograms of retinol activity equivalents in adult males and females requiring 700 micrograms. Pregnant women just as much, and children 300 to 600 micrograms. Vitamin D aids in the absorption of calcium and is stored in the bones. Sources include oily fish, liver, eggs, fortified foods such as breakfast cereal, bread, milk, and powdered milk. Symptoms for children are often manifested as rickets, while in adults and adolescents, bone deformities and pain, hypocalcemic seizures, tetanic spasms, and dental abnormalities, as well as symptoms of osteomalacia, are often seen. Recommendations for vitamin D for infants is 400 international units. Children is 600 to 1,000. Adults 31 to 70 is 600 international units, and elderly adults 71 and older, 800 international units. Vitamin E functions as an antioxidant, which protects against cell walls. Sources include plant oils, nuts, seeds, and wheat germs. Symptoms are often manifested as peripheral neuropathy, ataxia, skeletal myopathy, retinopathy, and impairment of the immune system response. And it's important to note that you may be more likely to be deficient if there's a fat malabsorption disorder. And recommendations for vitamin E are 15 milligrams for both male and females. Vitamin E Vitamin K is involved in proper blood clotting. Sources of vitamin K can be found in leafy green vegetables, cabbage, green tea. Symptoms of the deficiency include excessive bleeding and hemorrhage, reduction in bone mineralization, which is osteoporosis. Recommendations for males are higher at 120 micrograms, and females are recommended to have 90 micrograms. Vitamin B1, also known as thiamine, is important in nerve function and part of an enzyme needed for energy metabolism. Vitamin B1 can be found in many food sources such as pork, whole grains, enriched breads, and cereals, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Early symptoms include weight loss, anorexia, confusion, short-term memory loss, muscle weakness, and cardiovascular symptoms, while more long-term symptoms of a deficiency include beriberi and Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. Recommendations for both males and females are right around 1.1, 1.2 milligrams. Vitamin B2, also known as riboflavin, is an essential component of FMN and FAD and is involved in energy metabolism, cellular function, and metabolism of fat. Sources include milk and milk products, leafy green vegetables, whole grains, enriched breads, and cereals. Symptoms of a deficiency include endocrine abnormalities, skin disorders, hyperemia, edema of the mouth and throat, angular stomatitis, as well as all of these other issues. And recommendations for riboflavin is around 1.3 to 1.1 milligrams for males and females. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3, functions are very important as all tissues in the body convert niacin to NAD, and more than 400 enzymes need NAD to catalyze reactions. This is also converted to NADP for redox reactions and catabolic reactions with ATP. Sources include beef, pork, chicken, wheat flour, eggs, and milk. Symptoms of deficiency are most likely pellagra, which includes discoloration of the skin, tongue, digestive changes, as well as neurological changes. And it's recommended that males get 16 milligrams and females get 14 milligrams. Folate functions as a water-soluble B vitamin and is a coenzyme in single carbon transfers and synthesis of DNA and RNA. Folate can be found in leafy greens, dried beans, peas, fortified cereals, grain products, and strawberries. Symptoms are often classified as megaloblastic anemia, which is large nucleated erythrocytes, and that can kind of make people feel weakness, fatigue, irritability, high homocysteine levels, tongue and mouth ulcers, skin, hair, nail changes, and GI symptoms. And for pregnant women, folate is very important as it helps prevent neurotube defects, low birth weight, preterm delivery, and can also help prevent against growth retardation. Recommendations for adults is 400 micrograms. For pregnant women, 600 is recommended, and lactation or women who are lactating, 500 micrograms. Vitamin B6 is involved in more than 100 reactions, primarily involving protein metabolism, as well as homocysteine levels, gluconeogenesis, and glycogenolysis, as well as being a coenzyme for PLP and PMP. Sources include liver, chicken, bananas, potatoes, and spinach. And here you can see all the symptoms of the deficiency. But for infants, a deficiency could be seen as irritability, acute hearing, and convulsive seizures. Recommendations for children are from 1 milligram to 1.3 milligrams. Adults typically are around 1.3 milligrams. Older adults is 1.7 to 1.5 milligrams. And for pregnant or lactating women, is recommended to get 2 milligrams. Vitamin B12 is important because it helps lower homocysteine levels, as well as assisting in making new cells, protects nerve cells, and encourages normal growth through the folate cycle. It is also a cofactor for 2 enzymes. Sources include most animal products, fish, milk and milk products, eggs, meat, poultry, fortified breakfast cereals. Symptoms are characterized as megaloblastic anemia, low counts of white and red blood cells, platelets, glossitis of the tongue, fatigue, palpitations, pale skin, dementia, weight loss, infertility, as well as neurological changes. And for pregnant women, it can lead to neural tube defects, developmental delays, failure to thrive, and anemia in offspring. And recommendations for both male and females is around 2.4 micrograms. Pantothenic acid, also known as vitamin B5, is essential for fatty acid synthesis and degradation, and it is involved in the transfer of acetyl and acyl groups. And sources include eggs, sunflower seeds, mushrooms, peanuts, spruce, yeast, yogurt, broccoli, whole grain cereals, and meat. Although symptoms of deficiency are very unlikely just because we mostly get B5, vitamin B5 in our diet, numbness, burning of hands and feet, fatigue, irritability, restlessness, disturbed sleep, GI problems with anorexia can occur. And the recommendation is for children 4 and older 5 milligrams and adults also 5 milligrams. Vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, functions in the formation of collagen, helps absorb iron, protects cells from free radicals, is involved in wound healing, maintenance of cartilage, bones, and teeth. High sources of vitamin C include Brussels sprouts, broccoli, chili and bell peppers, kiwi, oranges, papaya, and guava. Symptoms of a deficiency may include rough, bumpy skin, corkscrew-shaped body, hair, loss of appetite, weight loss, fatigue, irritability, and lethargy. And recommendations are for males 90 milligrams, for females 75 milligrams. And it's also important to note that smokers will need an additional 35 milligrams extra of vitamin C just because they're more likely to be deficient. Biotin is important because it is a coenzyme in multiple metabolic pathways involving fatty acids and essential amino acids, synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrates, which is gluconeogenesis. Sources of biotin are peanut butter, boiled eggs, toasted wheat germ, egg noodles, Swiss cheese, cauliflower. Symptoms of a biotin deficiency may include seizures, hypertonia, ataxia, dermatitis, hair loss, mental retardation, ketolactic acidosis, organic aciduria, and fetal malformations. For recommendations of biotin, adults are recommended to have 30 micrograms, women who are breastfeeding 35 micrograms, and the recommended amount for different ages of children can be seen here. Myoinositol is a type of sugar that helps provide structure to our cells. It affects insulin, hormones in the brain, and is used for depression, anxiety, decreased risk of gestational diabetes. Sources include cantaloupe, citrus fruits, cherries, peaches, spinach, and okra. Deficiency may be seen as growth retardation and loss of hair, and you can see the recommendations here. Calcium is important in keeping bone and teeth strong, plays an important role in cell signaling, blood clotting, muscle contraction, and nerve function. Sources of calcium are often found in milk products, but also in kale, almonds, collard greens, spinach, and bok choy. Symptoms of deficiency kind of range from wheezing to kidney stones, dry skin, and even to cancer and osteoporosis. Recommendations for calcium for children begin at 800 milligrams, and kind of as we get older, the requirements increase. And for pregnant women, you're required to have 1,000 milligrams, and for pregnant teens, 1,300 milligrams.